Hello, Leslie. Welcome.
Thank you.
And hello, audience. So glad to see everyone. My name is David Robinson. I'll be your host. Welcome to our really exciting new program, and it is called the Inside Manufacturing Information Series. Basically, Inside Manufacturing, where we're going to share people, places, policies, and all manner of things that you might not normally hear about manufacturing. And this show, of course, is brought to you by Manufacturing Renaissance. And we are so pleased to have all of our coalition partners and everyone else that we're going to try to feature and really kind of get information about this important industry out to you. So, without further ado, let's start the program. Leslie, please give us your name, your title, and the role you play at the organization.
So my name is Leslye Long, and I am the Assistant Program Director for the Manufacturing Connect program, which is a part of the Career Pathway Services. So Career Pathway Services is kind of what it sounds like, right? It's providing a pathway of career options through the realm of manufacturing, advanced manufacturing. So I work in the educational branch. So I help to train, or I'm a part of the team that trains the in-school youth. So that means any kids that are in high school, 14 to 18, which kind of stretches into 21, right? Because sometimes kids need a little bit extra time. And so I just support the entire team as well as my PD, Joyce Weston. So it's literally everything from boots on the ground and conducting, program training to getting guest speakers to making sure that paperwork is done and all the administrative duties and any sort of outreach to the community.
Wow, that's exciting. And you've been at this for a while, isn't that true?
Yeah, well, I've been with Manufacturing Renaissance for 6 years, and I've been doing youth development and working in that area for over 25 years.
That's impossible. You can't be more than 28, so please.
Yep, and that's okay.
That's great. So, what kind of kids or what kind of communities do you typically serve?
So we serve youth of color, so Black and Brown communities all across Cook County. We have relationships with the Latinx community, African Americans, anywhere that there is poverty that's being, inflicted upon youth, where there is a hunger to explore something different in technology through STEM or STEAM. We're looking for the kids who really want to try something different. And we're also looking for the kids who don't really know what they want to try. And so it's as much about exposure to a new narrative in manufacturing as it is about just giving the students who already know about manufacturing, maybe through engineering or maybe through prototyping, and just giving them a really great avenue to get the training, to get into the manufacturing industry, and to really be recognized for what they bring to the game. And they do bring a lot to the game, even when they don't know what they do.
That's great. That's great. Yep, just cultivating that talent and that curiosity. That's excellent. But
Yeah.
you raised a very interesting phrase, and that is learning manufacturing.
Mhm.
And I'm aware in communities of color, maybe with a minor exception in the brown community, because they still have a lot of factory employment. But in the African American community, certainly the idea of manufacturing is based on a really old set of
Yeah.
thinking, right?
Yeah.
So let's play a role play. Let's imagine I'm a parent or guardian of a young person that's maybe in a community that's economically challenged. Maybe their educational system, is not as up to speed as they want.
Yeah.
But I want my young person to get the best possible opportunities.
Mm.
And here you are, you're saying you've got this great program. So the role play is, how do you say that to a suspicious parent with a 35-year-old notion of manufacturing and a young
Mhm.
person who's not really sure about any of it? How do you pitch it?
So we do it two ways. So for the parent, it's a conversation that is about understanding what manufacturing is today. So yes, you may have known manufacturing for, what your uncle or grandfather had done in the steel mill and some of the works that they have done with, maybe in the automotive industry, but it's so much broader than that. It's literally everything from robotics to non-robotics, where it's really just assembly, to creativity, dealing with clothing and dealing with bus seats, to Hyperloop and dealing with just innovation and engineering on an astronomical scale. So it's not just a place where, Joe or Jane can go and get a good job, right? And maybe come back without a hand. It's not that, right? It's bigger than that. It's literally dealing with, in some cases, fracking, which we don't really want, but it still happens, to chemical development, to hair, and hair, solutions, to literal hair solutions, like not even just the lotions, but like making hair, because that is a huge multi-billion-dollar industry, to making shoes, from the Adidases of the world, to the unknown manufacturers that are mom and pop shops that are making shoes or making clothing. So literally it's entrepreneurship. That's what it is in a nutshell. It's taking a raw material, it's taking it through a process, and it's coming out with a product. And it's done on a very small scale, where you can have, $500,000 to $1 million, companies that are existing right here in the city of Chicago or across the US, to the multi-billion-dollar companies like, the Boeings of the world. So it's vast, it's always expanding, it's always in need of enriched talent. And it's for the curious. That's exactly what it's for. Our job is to awaken the genius in every student that we come across. And sometimes they come, pretty hyped, and sometimes they have no clue. And it's our job to ingratiate ourselves to them, to really build our relationship with them, to support them in ways that they hadn't been supported before, and let them know that this is a process. It's not a job. No shade to McDonald's and Walgreens. It's just not that. This is about them building an understanding of where they currently are, what they can build, and how they can escalate over years. So we help them to understand a career path, not just a job position.
Outstanding. That's very powerful, very powerful. And it goes obviously fairly many steps past just sort of career counseling in a traditional sense. This is really something else. So that's exciting. And you and I both know, but maybe the audience isn't aware, that the manufacturing sector as an industry sector creates more jobs per every job created or hired than any other industry by far. And the recent estimates from the various industry think tanks are saying anywhere from 5 to 7 additional jobs are created in the supply chain. And what that means is maybe the transportation and distribution logistics end of it, where you're moving materials. Somebody's got to put it in a box onto a vehicle of some kind to get it wherever it's going. And there's a whole industry there. There's the whole ecosystem that, as we grapple, and you mentioned fracking, we grapple with these issues as our planet gets a little, concerned about what we're doing to it and is not responding well to it. We need to figure out ways to better manage our home planet. And that's going to come through the process that you spoke of innovation, of entrepreneurship, of figuring out how to make those fixes. And in that are careers, opportunities, and absolute change of the system as we know it.
Yeah, and it does require also mentorship, right? It really requires for every institution that has some sort of impact that is on this planet to give back, to pour into that young person, and to know that this isn't just about them getting an onboarding system that creates a good employee, but this is about them creating a culture of understanding of how we work together across every continent. And that means having video calls like these, right? Between a youth and an adult in a controlled arena that's safe, and they share their experiences, and they help them to understand that it's not just about you getting your own car and your own house and being able to care for your family. That's good, but that's just the beginning. And that has to be shared.
Outstanding. And I think this is a great bridge. Let's explore a nuanced version of the same role play.
Okay.
Because as you know, our organization and any nonprofit is constantly trying to demonstrate the value of their mission and their work to the funding community, the policymaking community, the decision makers in the various departments, and so on and so forth. And that discussion's a little bit more nuanced and different than what you're going to tell a parent or a student. So let's do that. We happen to be at a conference together, and I'm Bill Gates or somebody like that, and I've got tons of money and not sure what to do with it. Tell me why I should support Manufacturing Renaissance, and in particular this program.
Not only do we have a solution that can cultivate a culture that can help to sustain business and communities, but it can help sustain the world. It's one thing to have one person who thinks like, oh, you know, I can create something good and I can make something that's good, and have that small, you know, organization of, you know, anywhere from 1 to 100 people. But it's a whole nother thing to have 20 or 30 or 1,000 companies that think like that. And you can't get that unless you pour into that proper type of training, exposure, mentorship, understanding, policy. And that's what Manufacturing Renaissance does. That's why we have so many arms to Manufacturing Renaissance, right? That's why we have an opportunity to speak to teachers and principals and networks, not only in the city of Chicago, where we have established and been established for over 40 years. And then we've already tested the prototype. It's proven. We know what we're doing. We get the best of the best as trainers, as industry coordinators, as program coordinators. Our program model works, and it makes sense. And it's not something that was done just on the whim, right? Dan Sweeney, great man, wasn't just like, well, you know, I lost my job. Oh, well, he took his time and studied what was happening over in Italy, and studied what was happening with the Mondragon organization, and took their best practices back here, right? Brought it back home. And that's what great organizations do. They don't just go overseas and get the study and then stay overseas. No, they take it back to the cave. They teach the people that are in the cave. This is how we expand. This is how we make it better. This is how we build a future. And that is what needs to be multiplied, right? It needs to be a multiplying effect that trickles into every community. It shouldn't be that the Lincoln Parks and the Hyde Parks of the world are the only communities within Chicago that look so prosperous, or the Evanstons. That shouldn't be. Every community in a populace like Chicago should look the same. It should be strong. It should be filled with parks. It should have great education, and they should understand technology as it relates to manufacturing, because it's a intimate infrastructure that has to be multiplied. That's why.
That's excellent. And let me add one more factor that I use when I'm talking about this too, that I think you can speak to directly. And that is, right now, this window, manufacturers cannot find the talent. There are nationally approaching 3 million vacant jobs. And right here in Illinois, we have 58,000 and counting vacant jobs. And according to the Illinois Association of Manufacturers, or Manufacturers Association, they're paying an average annual salary of $88,000, including benefits. That's middle class money. That's real money. In addition to how you describe the kind of global impact and the community impact, there are some actual business specific things that we could solve just by connecting the training that you guys do to the needs of the manufacturers, which is at the core of our work. Is that not right?
Yeah, we've never had a problem with getting jobs. That's never been the issue. The issue has always been the individuals being trained, right? Them having the education, them understanding shop math, them understanding blueprint reading, them understanding the core elements that help them to rise above their circumstances. Whenever we have a youth that's in an impoverished neighborhood, they want a job. but they don't just want a job, right? They don't just want to go to something that's dead end or that you can only go so far. They want something where they can expand their mind, they can try different things, where they can experiment, and they can do it in a way that really gets their goat. I mean, we have a kid now who's in the program. He's telling me how he works on his dad. He's changing brakes. I'm just like, what is this child changing brakes? But it's that mindset, right? And this is no different than any generation before us. It's exactly the same. There's always been somebody who's curious. There's always been somebody who's just like, I want to do more. This isn't enough, right? What I'm getting in school is good. It's foundational. But what I need in order for me to be prosperous and for me to explore something that's totally exciting, that's just, there's not enough that's out there in every, I would say in every state within the United States. There needs to be more. And this is the type of format that can be replicated. It can be scaled with ease in any city, in any state, but it does require backing, and they need to invest. Otherwise, we're going to lose our youth to easy money without character.
Which we see all the time. The cause and effect of some of the issues in our society, and particularly in Black and Brown communities, can be directly related to deindustrialization during the late 70s and 80s that essentially devastated the middle income of all those communities with nothing to replace it. We were told, go get a degree. And now we're hearing, well, maybe wait a bit on the degree because it's too expensive. I mean, it just doesn't, it really damaged the communities. And this is a form, in my opinion, of reparations that you hear talked about, repairing the damage deindustrialization did. And it's real. This isn't just kind of screaming, yelling, help. This is something that actually it has been proven through all the work that you guys do. And for the years we've done this, that can actually repair some of these issues. So,
and the kids are voting with their feet, right? So we can go and read all of the white papers across America, but the kids are voting with their feet. They don't want to go to college. Some do. So you've got some that want to go, but even the ones that want to go still have to work and go to school. So we're helping them. And they want the internships now. They don't want to wait until their third year of college before they figure out, how I'm going to pay for things. They want it now. So being able to have that type of partnership where they understand this is how it works and this is why I'm going, right? This is my reward or my ROI for what I'm investing my time in. They're seeing it. They're seeing it immediately. They don't have to wait until their third year. And it's exactly the same kids or the other kids who are just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with high school. I'm done with, college. I don't even want to hear about college. But you talk to them about, hey, let's get a welding hat on you. Let's solder some stuff. Let's meet with the engineers and let's meet with accounting and let's meet with marketing. They're just like, whoa, this is awesome. I didn't even know it was like this, right? It's a completely open door. And then they are learning how to just love learning. And that's what we want. We want people who live in society who want to grow, not people who just want to sit and, flip a channel.
That's great. And you referenced, I heard that, Plato just earlier in your, so this is a bit of, and I'm going out on a limb here with the connection, but it is going out and getting news of the world and bringing it back.
Yeah.
So let's get granular, all right? Because we try to keep the shows as tight as we can. And now I want to dig into where you are right now.
Okay.
And what programs and what things are you offering right now as we speak in the way of classes, visits, because with COVID, it must be tricky for you guys to get this done. So please explain kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, so safety is always number one for us. So we went virtual last year as soon as COVID hit in March. It was a rough transition, but it was a good one. And I think it was really great for our program and great for the students. What it did was it opened the door for us not only to be able to serve the kids in Cook County who could come to the actual program site, which is over on the west side of Chicago, off of Chicago and Laramie, but what it did was it opened so that we could serve Cook County in full. So now we've got kids that are literally coming from 13 different high schools across the city of Chicago.
Wonderful.
I'm so stoked about that. We literally have kids from the ASAs, the Achievement Scholastic, high school that's dealing with some diverse learners, some non-diverse learners, but just making sure that they're really getting served, to the Lindblums, to the Morgan Parks, to the Curies, like Farragut, all of them are coming to us, and they're coming online, and it makes it easier. So for an hour a day, 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, they have class time where they sit with the instructor, that everything is done over Zoom, and they get intricate technical and professionalism training, from a 20-year vet out of manufacturing, a 20-something year vet out of manufacturing, and working with the industry. And they really get a chance to just meet and learn, understanding the tools, understanding the way that you all the intricacies of things that you need to know before you step in the door. And that's why when we place them, they're looked at differently. Like they're looked at like, this is who we were looking for, but we couldn't find.
Yeah, that's really something. So tell me, right now, I know you have a couple of cohorts underway. You've got a couple of things with YMA, a couple of things that are actually programs underway. Tell the audience about those things.
Yeah.
And if they have anyone that's interested in either this coming cohort or the next one, tell them what they need to do.
So, there's open enrollment for the YMA cohort, which is currently going on. It actually just launched on Tuesday, February 16th.
Now, what's the age group for the YMA cohort?
YMA is 18 to 29.
Okay.
And
they don't have to be in school or
no,
whatever.
It's out of school. Yeah, out of school. They need to either have a GED or come close to getting a GED, have a high school diploma. And that helps us with placement, right? Because as soon as they're done with their 10-week training, boom, they get placed. That program has a stipend, a weekly stipend that's involved with it. It's also all virtual, but it is 10 weeks. So it's a quick run, right? I think they only have one slot left actually for this one, and they would be coming out of the South Suburbs. So if there's anybody who's coming out of the South Suburbs, if the slot is still available, you can totally apply.
And February 26th is the deadline for signing up for that?
That's the second one. So that's for YMA. And YMA will probably have another cohort that'll be sometime in May. So for in school, that's the one that I'm with. February 26th is for our second cohort. We just launched one cohort on Tuesday. The second cohort is going to launch on March 8th, which means that all paperwork, all interviews have to be in to us and have to be completed successfully by February 26th. That's for all high school youth, and that is for seniors only. So that is not applicable to anyone who is not a senior. We particularly are working with them because we know that they're going to be ready to go as soon as they finish the program. That program is 12 as a stipend. It's not a weekly stipend though. It's an cumulative stipend of $150. There is a paid internship. There are work experiences that go throughout. The internship, their major internship happens over the spring break. It is a project-based internship with several different companies. We're actually still getting all the companies online, so we can't really talk about them. And then once they have finished, they will have a NIMS credential in either YMA or MC. So they'll have their measurement and
why is the NIMS credential a big deal? If I've never heard of that, what's big about that?
So National Institute of Metalworking Skills, which is a wonderful organization that allows individuals to be recognized globally, right? It says that I know how to work the machinery that you have within your manufacturing organization. Yep. But it also says I'm not going to blow up your organization, right? That's important. Don't want to blow it up.
No.
So, yeah, we don't want to do that. So it's everything from, understanding different OSHA laws and chemicals and recognizing safety, but then it's also understanding blueprint reading and understanding, the different type of measurement tools and things that would be really essential for any person who's going to get onboarded into a manufacturing company.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I must say, are doing great work. And where should somebody contact if they're interested in learning more, or maybe even having, signing up, or having one of the young people sign up? Where do they go?
So I would say two spots. The easiest is to go right online to our website, mfgren.org, mfgren.org. I'll say that slower. M as in mother, F as in Frank, G as in George, R as in Romeo, E as in Echo, N as in Nancy, .org. So that's the public website, and you just go to Career Pathway Services and you'll find out about us, and my information is on there. Or you can just go ahead and email us directly. You can email myself at llong@mfgren.org. So that's LLONG.MFGREN.org.
Last question as we sort of wrap. What's next for MC? And I don't necessarily mean, you know, blue sky way out there, but kind of practically speaking, what do you want to get to next?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for us next is to get the exposure piece done. So we want to be able to expose more kids who are not seniors, and as well as the ones who are in programming. And we do that through manufacturing experiences and virtual field trips. So right now we're recruiting companies globally, literally. So I want the Virgin company, I want Tesla, I want, you know, Friedman Seedings, I want, you know, just the small mom and pops who names I don't know, but I want manufacturers, engineers, marketing people, individuals who are willing to share their experiences, how they got where they got to, what were the bumps and hurdles from high school through college or high school to work, and are willing to share what they know with a high school student or with an out of school, you know, student who's between 18 and 29. So we're recruiting volunteers to be able to give 1 to 2 hours of their time to be able to either participate as a guest speaker or be a part of one of our projects, or
maybe figure
whatever
out
they want to do.
figure out how to own a company. We're going to get into that in one of our next broadcasts, because there's a whole discussion about creating young people that are interested in not just working in or working for, but owning these companies when they become available as their owners retire. So, but that's a whole nother show we're going to get into.
Okay.
And I really want to thank you, Leslye. This has been great, super informative. You guys are doing outstanding work. And so I want to just thank you for everything you guys do, and also for taking time to join us on our little show here. Audience, want to thank you for watching. I'm your host, David Robinson, and you've been watching the Inside Manufacturing interview series with Leslye Long from Manufacturing Renaissance and their specific youth programs, YMA and MC, Manufacturing Connect. And this is our first of a series of shows, so make sure you tune in. Do visit us on our website, mfgren.org. Hit us up on social media. We've got them all. So we look forward to getting you on board. If you're not doing anything and aren't happy, come see us. We might be able to put you in the manufacturing industry.
Maybe.
So, hey, thank you again, Leslye. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next show, everybody.